All right, everybody. Just wanted to do a year in review of your marketing. So, what are the 6 things that you need to know in order to do a really good but simple review of your marketing for the past year, which will tee up where you invest and what you put your effort into next year? So, this is just going to be a quick overview. The first thing you want to look at is the average cost of customer acquisition. Now, this is pretty simple. You can look at all your marketing and marketing associated expenses, which may not necessarily be included in your accounts as marketing associated. For instance, travel may not be associated with that. So you need to consider that. And you may need to just get a rough estimate of that. But add up all your expenses and then find out how many customers you've had this past year and divide the number of customers into the amount of expenses, and this will tell you how much it costs to get a customer. Secondly, you want to look at the customer acquisition cost by method. So here you may be able to tease out where you spent money. So was it social media? Was it networking? Was it referrals or advertising on Google or Facebook or something like that? And then find out where your customers came from. Now, ideally, you've been keeping track of that, but if you haven't, you're just going to have to do a rough estimation. And then, of course, you divide the number of customers into your expenses for each method, and you're going to have your customer acquisition cost by the method of marketing that you did. Next, you're going to need to look at the ROI on the marketing by method. So let's say you spend a lot of money on Home Advisor or Angie's List or Google Ads versus joining someplace and being a member of something like Rotary, which we could call networking or referrals. And then you are going to look at the type of customers that you got and how much money you made by that form. And then again, divide the number of customers by that particular type of advertising or marketing. Next, getting away from the numbers a little bit, we want to rate your best and your worst customers. Now, why do we do that? Well, we want to know the type of customers that you really want to work with that pay you well, that pay on time, that fulfill you, and are super happy getting your services or the products that you provide, versus the ones that pay late. They're a hassle to work with. They don't really appreciate what you do. And figure out, is there some kind of commonality between the type of service or product you provide and whether they're a really good or a bad customer. So a simple way to separate all your customers is an ABCD format. What I like to do is just do the A's, the very best, the D's, the very worst, and then the ones in the B's and C's are a little bit harder. C's could be considered that you could live without them, but maybe not. I need to coach them to become B's, which we could think of as your bread and butter. And of course, your A's are your awesome customers. And then nextly, we want to look at across all the services and products you provide, where you get the most profit. Now, hopefully you've been tracking this throughout the year and you can identify this month by month, but you may not. And overall, you want to look at, while you may be getting a lot of revenue from a certain type of product or service or offering, you may not be getting that much actual profit. And it may make you think about the proportion of effort in your marketing that you place towards these different types of products or services. And finally, we want you to look at your competitive positioning. So what does that mean? It means don't just assume who your competitors are, but go out and on the internet, search for the very words that you would want someone to search for your business and see what comes up and see what their reviews are like. You can go back and ask some of your colleagues, some of your people in associated or adjacent businesses what they think about these different competitors. And so that you can do a better job of figuring out, hey, there's an underserved market that my competitors aren't approaching, and give you a chance to go attack it for next year. Or it could be that your competitors have raised their prices so dramatically, for instance, because they were bought out by large hedge funds. As I understand, some trades have been acquired this year. And this gives you the opportunity to still provide an incredible price advantage, but still raise your prices some. So these are the quick things that you want to take a look at. The average cost of your customer acquisition, the customer acquisition by method, which was most successful. What's the ROI on your marketing by the method that you're using? What's your return on that? Rating your best and worst customers, looking at where you're making the most profit by your products or services, and then looking at your competitors and understanding where you might have new advantages that you did not have last year. So I'll go into each of these in a little bit more depth, but that's the quick overview. And if you do these things, you will be raring to go to do more marketing next year and therefore make more money. Look forward to seeing you around sometime soon.